Of course, all that talking, and that was the one time the mute button decided not to work in my favor. Long story short, we're in the top 50% on the CG. We're going to go for the top 25, because why not? But I don't need the rewards. I did get a fine. I ran into a dolphin on the way out. And we're back in the Caspian. Hopefully that'll keep me from landing on planets quite as much as I have in the past, and at least for the CG, it doesn't. Plant scanning isn't going to get me anything, so it's really just a drop in efficiency. And I also want to see if they've got this landing profile worked out. I know it's it's been problematic. I haven't really figured it out. I've put this thing down on two different spots on this planet, and I mean it's pretty big, wide, and open. Maybe I'm griping about something that's not an issue because, I'm not typically a large ship kind of guy. And it could just be as simple as I'm not very good at landing large ships on planets, and it may be nothing at all wrong with the Caspian. But we're going to try, and we'll see if I notice any improvements. Supposedly they've made some changes. As far as route goes, I've went ahead and pre-plotted one. We've got 53 jumps kind of to the midway. Plotting down to Rainbow's End is kind of a pain. And I'm really annoyed about that. I understand having a deep space station, but they've put it somewhere that you have to work so hard to get to. It's almost not worth going down there. I can tell you right now, if I'm ever up here exploring on my own and I don't have my carrier with me, I will happily go to a DSSA carrier before I go down to that station. It's a pain in the ass. And that's true to FDev form, I guess. Why let the players have fun? We can't do that. And I get it. It should be a bit of a rite of passage. But it's 48,000 light years from Sol. If you've made it out this far, you've earned that rite of passage. You don't need all the fuss of trying to get down to this station. And I am going to have to adjust these audio levels because I can't even hear myself think over the game. I have to do this every time I put headphones on. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I'll try that out. Take that for a spin around the block. Yeah, I can live with that. So it's going to be a lot of jump scan, jump scan, jump scan tonight. That's kind of the modus operandi for this particular CG. The only thing that counts is universal cartographic finds. So I will likely not be spending a ton of time even mapping planets. Unless they're good high value, in which case I'll do it for my own sanity. But not required, and it won't really earn me a contribution. So we'll see where we end up. Just kind of explore and chill this evening. Sorry I haven't been around. The dog had some health issues. She actually had a stroke. Couldn't walk with her back legs. So we've spent most of the week relearning how to use our back legs, and she's doing much better now. She's able to get up into the bed after a couple of attempts, even if I'm not, handy to assist her, and she can go out and handle her business, outside, that kind of thing. So she is improving. They kind of told me that there was a pretty good shot of that happening, and that it was best just to kind of watch her quality of life, make sure she wasn't in pain or anything, and she's not. She's generally seems in good spirits. So, but that's been my week. It's been an awful busy week, and an awful week in its own right. It is still quite loud in my ear holes now that I've done some jumps. So we're going to adjust this a slightly different way. Give me that. And we'll put that right about there because that sounds good to me. Then I can always turn it up down there. Hopefully that is reasonably well balanced. If not, I'm sure somebody at some point will let me know. Hopefully. See what we're getting into here. Should be plenty far away from the star. Nothing interesting. Well, maybe. There's a gas giant, so there's always hope. Ah, helium atmosphere. I feel like I don't run into a lot of those. I don't know how common they actually are, but I don't feel like I see a ton of them. And now I've found 2 of them. Starting to wonder what the helium percentage is here. I love exploring. And I know to some people this probably seems god-awful boring. And I know exploration is not everybody's cup of tea in Elite. But honestly, this nice, slow, just kind of amble through a system, scan, maybe go look at something because it looks cool, that is just a cathartic, relaxing activity to me. I am planning on streaming again tomorrow night, but it won't be Elite, I don't think. It might be. I haven't quite decided. I am also a very avid vintage story player, and I've been dabbling with that on and off today. I think I've about got a world set up with the appropriate mods and stuff and settings, so we may very well just play some vintage story tomorrow and show that off a little bit for anybody who doesn't know or hasn't bumped into the game. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of a well, it is a Minecraft clone. In its previous life, it was actually a mod for Minecraft, I believe. And, you know, they went and developed their own standalone game that is very mod friendly, and it's very much just adult Minecraft. It's got a lot deeper crafting system in it. It's got like spoilage and food storage mechanics. I really enjoy it. I put many hours, probably 2,000 to 3,000 hours in Minecraft, which is saying something because it's about what I have in Elite. But it's a game I spend a lot of time and have fun in. So that may be what we're doing tomorrow. But for today, we're going to see what we can get. My intention is to get all the way back to Rainbow's End. I popped in there Thursday or Friday night, I can't remember which, and turned in the data I'd been holding on to. So hopefully this pushes me over the edge, gives me the top 25%. Although I don't expect to stay there. Honestly, I'm not even bothered if I stay in the top 75%. This is the rewards are pretty meaningless on this one. Because I've got the scanner already. You can buy the scanner from a tech broker, and it's not even double engineered. It's to my knowledge, it's actually no better than just grade 5ing your own DSS scanner at the engineer, which you can do. So aside from spending some mats, I mean, I guess it saves you that, and if you're already exploring, why not try to earn it? But I just don't know that it's got great rewards. And by that, I mean I don't care about them in the slightest. But I figure I'm out here. I'm trying to get some exploration done. We've gotten our squad carrier, so I don't need to be grinding money super hard. I mean, I still will be here and there. It's nice to pad my own carrier account. We still need to rack up funds to, you know, stock some loner Panther Clippers and that kind of thing in the squad carrier. So it's not like we don't need money anymore. But we have kind of met the big goal. So I don't feel the need to grind super hard. I mean, I'll still be making money hand over fist even if I don't, so. We do have a water world, and I am going to go map that. What's that? Body 3. Because I am still working on my own exploration ranking. I'm only Elite 2. Naturally, I would prefer to be Elite 5. That's exploration's my bag. So we'll see what kind of damage we can do. I'm not even sure how close I am. Oh, I'm getting close. I'm kind of hoping or expecting to be at least Elite 4 by the time the expedition's over. Whether or not that becomes a reality, I'm not sure, but we'll see. And I know I said I wasn't going to spend a ton of time landing on planets. If I do run into some guaranteed stratum tectonicus, I will stop and scan it. It's just stupid to walk away from the money. I mean, it's the equivalent of the top reward for the CG. Why would I walk away from it? And I do want to legitimately get some landing done. You know, I want to see if they've fixed the landing woes of the Caspian. If you can even call them that. I mean, it lands. It's a big ship. I think a big part of my problem is I don't fly large ships. I never have. But at the same time, like, I haven't done a lot of exploration or exobio in small ships either. The bulk of my exploration has been in a Krait Phantom. And it's not a small ship. Even as mediums go, it's got a pretty wide landing profile, so I don't know. Maybe it's a me problem. Maybe it's a Caspian problem. I guess we'll see as time goes on. I did remember to get a drink this evening, which bodes well. And I remembered to start with the headphones and check the webcam audio, so we're moving up in the world. Pro streamer here. I cannot believe I was allowed to ramble on nearly as long as I was last time. With that god-awful echoey audio, I went to listen back to the stream the next day, and I just could not believe how horrible it was. Or that I had people talking to me all night and just let it ride. I mean, it's not super... I could still understand what was being said, so I guess it wasn't super critical, but it bothered me. If I had been clicking through streams looking for one to watch, I wouldn't have stopped on my own, I can tell you that. I'd have heard that audio and I'd have said, nope, we're not doing that. I wouldn't put up with that even if it was a stream I enjoyed the content of. Let alone one I just bumped into. Oh, there's 3 out of 3. What are you doing, Murdoch? Apparently, not getting very good. I did just kind of set a random course off. Well, not totally random. When I left, whatchamacallit, Rainbow's End, still the dumbest name I could think of for a deep space station. Only seconded by the fact that it's in a dumb location. I like where in the galaxy we are, I just don't like where in the galactic plane it is. It is such a pain to get to. And I'm going to try really hard not to harp on that, but honest to God, every time I think about the station or the fact that I'm going there, at some point in this stream, I am going to have to use Spanch Galaxy Plotter to get there. And that annoys me. That shouldn't be the case, I don't think. The in-game plotter will just not take me there, even in the Caspian. And that seems silly to me. Because there's a lot of people that don't use, you know, third-party tools. Unless they absolutely have to. There's certainly a subset of explorers that, you know, they do everything the old-fashioned way. They're going to have a hell of a time getting down there. I just feel like it's a little niche. But no matter, no mind. When I left there previously, I went basically straight up in the galactic plane to where Distant Suns was docked. And I swapped over to my Caspian, because I was rocking the Mandalay last time you guys were with me. And I decided that the Caspian, one, needed some more airtime. I did spend real money to get the damn thing. I might as well fly it. And two, I know it doesn't land very well, so it will certainly help curb my desire to land on every planet and scan every bio. But I also wanted to test the landing changes that are supposedly in here. And I haven't, I've been in it once or twice, but I haven't really put a serious effort into that, so I thought, this is a good chance for that. Because I know I'll still, if I find good high money bios, I'll still go for those. I'm just not going to stop for each and every little plant I find. Which breaks my heart. I've scanned so many of them. I genuinely still enjoy Exobio, though. It's one of my favorite game loops in the game. And not even just because it makes money, because I still scan the worthless bacteria a lot of the time. And certainly if I don't have an agenda in front of me like DW, if I was just out here screwing around, I would be scanning a lot more than I am even now, because it wouldn't be a time crunch of any sort whatsoever. I am kind of keeping one eye open on ED Buddy over here. Watching out for rarities and things I want to go see. I would like to find some crystalline shards, and I know those are far more likely in a high helium voxel. And I'm not really taking the time to hunt one down right now. But I have my suspicions. I think I have. If not, I meant to. Did I? I did. Okay, so I put a flak launcher on here. And I believe I also put a collector limpet in. I did. I've got some collectors and some rescues. Those of you who've been playing a while will know that the brain tree farming with flak cannons it's gone. It hasn't worked for a while now. But I don't see any reason you couldn't mine crystalline shards that way. I don't know that it's ever been tested, because they're all so far away from the bubble. Most people aren't going to haul a flak cannon or limpets out that far. You could certainly take a fleet carrier out. I mean, the nearest one to the bubble is like 4,500 light years out. So it's not out of the question. You could get there without a ton of tritium burn in, an evening of gameplay, I think. And then you would have all the limpets and all the space in the world. But I don't know that it's been tried, so I thought I would put the stuff on my ship and give it a whirl myself. And see if it does in fact work. I don't know why it wouldn't. I don't see anything in crystalline shards for limpets to get stuck on like they do in the brain trees. And because they're quite a bit farther apart and there's no structure above them, when you blow the materials off of them, they should fly away from the crystalline structure anyways. So I think it'll work. But I gotta find one first. I know where several are, but none very close to me. And as far as I know, none have been discovered in Mare Somnia. So far as I know. I definitely looked at the Codex, although now that I think about it, that may have been in the Veils. It may be worth my time. In fact, let's get away from the star and do exactly that and give that a gander. Be under biological. Still don't understand why this is under... Oh, nope, there is one. Let's just see how far away that is, because if it's not unreasonable... It is in the complete wrong direction. also way out on the edge of that spiral. What? That has to be an absolute pain to get to. Well, if we bump into another one, we'll try it. If not, that's going to be a project for after the CG is over, I think. I had them on the Mandalay. They were with me, so I had already planned to do that before switching to the Caspian and doing the CG. Yeah, that was terraformable. 2.4 million, I'll take that. Ooh, and a carbon dioxide. See, that's what I have. I have trouble passing this. I think that's just one of the prettiest atmospheres. I'm also keeping a loose eye open, just for anything that makes a good screenshot. I know we've got several people in our squad that did not come on Distant Worlds, partially because they're newer players and they weren't quite ready, or they just had no desire to be that far from the bubble. So I am thinking about putting together, and by thinking about, I mean I've already started putting together an expedition that's going to be a little closer to home. It's basically going to amount to a ferry ride out away where all the first discoveries can be had, so that some of those people can kind of dip their toe in the exploration pool. But I do also want to have at least a couple stops that I can move around to every 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be a much slower pace than Distant Worlds. I am personally not a fan of the breakneck pace that DW has been under until recently. I mean, it's feels like it's slowed down a lot. But man, those first couple weeks were rough. But I do keep my one eye open as I roam the galaxy for things that I could include in a future expedition. And I don't have the the big POI lists from all the old explorers. I know there's guys out there that just have spreadsheets full of places to stop and call a point of interest. But I ain't one of them. I'm building one, and I'm sure I could ask around and get a list of things, but it's much more fun, I think, to find them and then put together an expedition to share those discoveries. That just seems a little more fun, a little more organic to me. But we got a ways to go before that. It's probably going to be a fall of this year or after kind of thing. I know after we get back from DW, Jim here is going to be plenty busy. There's engineering he needs to do. No shortage of it. I've done no suit engineering, so I've got to get at least one of my characters ready for operations. It'll probably be Jim, just because it's the primary account. The alt really only exists so that I can participate in bubble-related activities when I'm out and about. And when I do go out and about, I don't generally go as far out as I have for Distant Worlds. This is really kind of out in the boonies. And I get the appeal for coming out here. It's far away. It's a place overall fewer people in the 10 years of the game life have gone. But I feel like you can go south and east or south and west of the bubble and still find plenty of virgin territory. And still be reasonably close that if you decide one day, okay, I want to go back to the bubble, it's not a major commitment. Not that it's impossible from where we're at on Distant Worlds. I galaxy plotted from near Beagle Point with a Caspian, and it was like 3.5 hours of travel. And yeah, that's still a ton of travel. Who wants to spend 3 hours literally just balls to the walls buckyballing? And the answer is pretty much nobody. I would ideally like to be somewhere where an hour or less of travel gets me at least back to the edge of the bubble. And a Caspian, that is more attainable than ever. But I generally find that is plenty far enough out to explore in a meaningful fashion and have a good night. a good time playing. So that's kind of the way I plan to gear my own expedition. Much closer in, much more accessible. People with only one account can come out and participate or come and go as they please every week or two if they want. And they don't have, it's not a you're coming and now you're stuck with us kind of thing. Which to a degree is how Distant Worlds is. I mean, I don't know anybody that did. I'm certain there were players that did though. Come out with nothing but a raw ship. That was a category. I had a ship set up to participate in that. Originally, I had my Crate Phantom kitted out as a stock ship just to do the raw runner stuff because I wasn't gonna do it all the time. But honestly, with the pace Distant Worlds has been under, there's just no way. Especially in the beginning, if you were one of those guys running a raw ship, you had to be able to commit significantly more playtime than I could. If you were ever going to keep up in a 30 or a 40 light year ship, it's just no way. Absolute insanity. And I say that from the standpoint of having done the Outlander challenge and taking a Sidewinder from Bernard's Loop to Colonia, which is like 23,000 odd light years, 32 light years at a time. And that was a lot of neutron jumping in a Sidewinder. So I can't imagine people that have continued on the expedition. I mean, I've personally put in almost 200,000 light years on this expedition so far. I've done some moving. I do think I'm going to do some more engineering on some of my older ships. I've decided I'm not just going to let them die. I do still fly a lot of them. I need to find a new purpose for my Python, because it's definitely not going to be mining anymore. We have better ships for that now, i.e. T-11. So I don't know what I'll use it for. Maybe passenger missions. Maybe I will go down and run some Rubigo mines or something. I never did that. There are a lot of, like, classic game loops I've never done. I've probably flown a total of less than 5 passenger missions overall. And I think I would enjoy doing that on occasion. And that's funny, because I've owned several Belugas, just never for passenger missions. I had one set up as a miner at one time. It's got a fair amount of space. It just suffers in the power distributor department, which is where you ran into problems with all of your mining ships before the T-11. That's why the Python worked so well. It's got that big Class 7 distributor on it. You can weapon specialize it and just go to town with Class 2 lasers, but not really a need for that kind of setup anymore. Who knows? Maybe I'll leave it exactly the way it is and take it out mining just to spite FDev. Or I'll turn it into a medium bruiser. We'll see. I just refuse to let go of my old ships. I'm sure I can find a use for some of them in this modern SCO compatible world. I'm still holding out hope for a small explorer this year. Not a lot of hope, because I think it's far more likely that we get some more meta ships, as I've taken to calling them, because that is definitely what the Caspian is. It's meant to be the exploration meta, and if it landed worth a damn, it would be, absolutely. Even with its landing difficulty, it's hard to beat. It is absolutely the fastest way to get from A to B, and if you're the kind of explorer that really enjoyed an Anaconda and wanted to take a fighter bay, it's hard to argue with the Caspian. I've got everything in here, including the kitchen sink, and it still jumps 73 light years. A maximum of 83. And routinely neutron boost for 447, with a fighter bay, 2 SRV bays, 2 AFMUs, I mean, I had an extra size 6 slot that I stuck a fuel tank in because I didn't know what else to do with it. It's fairly obscene when it comes to the internals. And for anybody curious, you can fit, in addition to a fuel scoop and all the auto flight assists, 20 SRVs on board this if you so desire. I believe that also included a FSD booster, I can't remember. I didn't even realize there was a size 6 hangar for SRVs, but there is. It holds 4. I could see a ship hauling 2 of those, a 4-seater ship like this hauling 2 of the size 6 SRV bays being a lot of fun for ground missions. You could have a full crew of 4 players. They'd each have 2 SRVs, so if they blew one up, they'd be okay. Or you could do 4 Scarabs and 4 Scorpions or whatever. Give people the option. I feel like if the multiplayer stuff were much more stable, it would work out better. I know every time I've tried physical multi-crew versus telepresence, it's not necessarily worked out in my favor, or anybody else's. The telepresence doesn't seem terrible, but I think a big part of the reason so many people play this like it's a single-player game is because they've made the multiplayer so dog shit. And that's really a missed opportunity. I mean, unless that is the core game mechanic that FDev was talking about reworking this year. I know everyone, myself included, has very much thought that it was most likely BGS, the background simulation that runs, because it is core to all the gameplay. And I mean, even if you're not intentionally trying to affect it, if you complete a mission, if you sell goods, if you turn in exploration data, you know, all of those things are inadvertently, whether you meant them to or not, affecting the background simulation. And I know it got pretty screwed up with the introduction of colonization, because now you've got, you know, these player minor factions, and just minor factions in general, that are propagating throughout the universe in a way they never originally envisioned. And, you know, it's certainly caused a lot of power play angst, I can tell. You see a lot fewer people doing any fighting over systems now, and it's more a game of how fast can we colonize to up our control system count than it is about fighting to displace, you know, a rival, or, you know, upgrading your own to fortified or strongholds or anything like that. I'm sure there's still dedicated people who do those things, but the meta is kind of just to keep adding systems. So people will go out and colonize, and now you've got new systems the following week. So I still think there's a pretty good shot it's the BGS they're going to go in and change. But it does suddenly occur to me, what if it's not? What if it is, in fact, some of the multiplayer, you know, problems we've had? Hey, Trank, welcome in. I'm just sitting here opining about how I suddenly wondered, as I was going through my monologue there about multiplayer, if maybe the thing they're going to change is multiplayer. I know the one time we tried multi-crew, you got kicked right out of my ship as soon as I jumped. And telepresence has been the only thing that ever really worked, and it almost makes sense with operations coming in being a clear multiplayer intended loop, that maybe that is the, you know, the core game aspect that they're looking to rework, is some of the stuff that makes, you know, maybe multiplayer is so jittery. Maybe they'll be fixing that. That would be amazing. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. How are you doing on the CG? Because I turned in, landed in the top 50%, and I'm still there. And there's only 4 days left. I really thoroughly expected to get booted out of that spot by now. I don't know if it's just low participation or what. I mean, the rewards are ultimately meaningless. So I definitely suspect that could be it. You know, one stratum tectonicus and you've gotten the same payout as the top 10 people. And the scanner's just not that hard to get a hold of. I've already got one, as a matter of fact, so. But yeah, we've, when I submitted mine, we were still in Tier 1, between Tier 1 and Tier 2. And now, you know, we're up over Tier 3 now on our way to 4, and I'm still in the top 50%. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I was wondering. My goal is to make my way back to Rainbow's End by Stream's End and see if I can land in the top 25, even if it's only briefly. And unfortunately, exploration events are one of the ones where people come in last minute, really heavy. I mean, everyone does it with all of the CGs, but exploration ones lend themselves particularly well if you're going to be out exploring up to the last minute and then just come in and dump your data. You know, it definitely makes it. I am also curious. Is he streaming right now? Because if he is, tell him if he's not top 10, I'm disappointed. At his prodigious pace and the exact style of exploration he has, there's no reason he shouldn't absolutely pound this thing into the dirt. I know I am not myself looking forward to having to pick my way back down there again. I still think that's a really dumb place to put a deep space station. Okay, well, let him know. Tell him I expect top 10 performance out of him. Wrong button. Hell, he was probably live before I was. I didn't even look. I just kind of jumped in. I know I missed Tuesday because of the stuff I had going on with Bella, so figured I better get in here and do some kind of streaming. And then I'm gonna fill tomorrow 8 p.m. again. Although I'm not sure it's gonna be Elite. I've given serious thought to making it a Vintage Story instead. I've dabbled with that off and on today, kind of getting all my mods updated and seeing what works and what got broke. Because I have a specific idea in mind for a style of playthrough I want to do with that game. I just don't know if I want to stream it. I haven't decided yet. I'm sure the intention for the location was that you kind of had to earn your way to get there, which I get. You know, explorers as a general group, we like to get out here and find the ridiculous stuff. But that said, it's 48,000 light years from Sol. You earned the right to visit the station already. You shouldn't have to, you know, pick your way all the way down to it. That is ridiculous. Vintage Story. It's like a British Minecraft clone, only it's... I call it Minecraft for adults. It's got a much deeper crafting system. It does have like a Lovecraftian horror element, but I generally turn that whole aspect of the game off. I really don't care for it. I like more of the survival crafting aspect, kind of homesteady. But it has, you know, like full seasons, and crops have seasons and yields that vary based on how you took care of them. Food spoilage is a thing, and if you bury it underground, it lasts longer. If you've got a cellar built and it's in the winter, it lasts even longer. You know, it's got a lot of complexity in the crafting side of things that I like to sink my teeth into. I very much enjoy that. It's got a whole blacksmithing system, and one thing it had that was really missing from something like Minecraft is block chiseling. So if you're like me and you like to build structures and you want to add a lot of detail, you can get down and chisel out, you know, from a full block to whatever. You can make all sorts of custom blocks that way. So I generally do a fair bit of that. In fact, I'm thinking of one in particular. I think it was slate or obsidian I built it out of. But I made these pedestals for oil lamps that I could plop all over the place around my little homestead I was building and put oil lamps on top of them. And it looked like, you know, some kind of wrought iron lamp holder. It was very neat. It did take me probably an hour to make said object, but I had a mod installed so I could copy it basically. Not for free. I had to put my tools in the workbench and they would take wear and tear, and I had to have the materials to duplicate the block, but the point was I didn't have to chisel it out again. You know, I chiseled a design and then I had a template I could use. It is a lot of fun though. There's a lot of depth and uniqueness if you can see past the, you know, the block Minecraft blocks of it. But I'm thinking about it. I may just intermittently stream that here and there. For some reason, I was thinking Arcanic wasn't going to be streaming tonight because he streamed this morning. I watched his Subnautica stream this morning. He must have had a short day at work. That was a lot of fun, by the way. You missed that. Him getting into Subnautica and stumbling, and he's only caught the briefest glimpse of a Reaper so far. So I'm eagerly awaiting the first time one grabs a Seamoth. That's going to be a riot. Oh, you were in the same boat. And thankfully, I was off today. I do have to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, which will be nice. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. I feel like I'm at a weird spot in Elite because we're kind of over the hump on DW. I feel like we're headed back again. And I know I've got a lot of engineering I need to do with Jim. You know, I've got to get suit engineering mats, which I have no idea how to do. That'll be a new game loop for me. I've done none of the on-foot engineering or settlement rating, or I would love to see Delta play Subnautica. That would be a riot. I was so glad to see that you know, the court case went in favor of the Subnautica development team, because that was some bullshit Krafton pulled, and I personally will not ever buy another game produced by Krafton, regardless of how much I wanted or like it, just because that was the scummiest thing I think I've ever seen a publishing house do. Hey, Delta. Just a flying visit. No worries, man. I know you've got things to take care of and travel to be doing. Yeah, I need that's what I was just saying. When I get back from DW, I feel like that's what I'm going to be sinking my teeth into, because with operations, I'm sure I'm going to want some engineered weapons and suits and stuff, and I have done none of it. I've not unlocked the engineers. I've not, even to my knowledge, collected material. So it's going to be a grind. My understanding is that the way to start that is by going to abandoned settlements, because you can do it without you know, kind of getting hemmed up by the law, so to speak. And it's also my understanding that the way to do your actual engineering is in Colonia. Because when they set Colonia up, they wanted it to be a place people could live and not have to go to the bubble to do things. So the engineers in Colonia, and I'd never noticed it, but I thinking back to the one the couple I've unlocked, they are more dense. They have more blueprints per engineer, so you end up having to unlock way fewer of them. So my understanding of suit engineering is that the place to do it is Colonia. Oh, Memphis. That sounds so good. trying to think. That's it's only like 8 hours south of me. That's not bad. It should be warm, plenty warm. It was like 80 degrees here today in central Ohio, which is wild. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to that or not. I'll be sweating my rear end off tomorrow. And I haven't dug my cooler out of my storage unit yet. I need to go do that. I usually carry a 2-gallon igloo cooler with me in my truck, and I'll just soak back 20 or 30 ounces in between every street. It's nothing to burn through 2 gallons in a day. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know that the experimental effects are nearly as big of a problem on the weapons and stuff. Because you do, like, I know for, like, the weapons and stuff, I think there aren't actually any experimentals. And if it's a case of being able to pin most of what you need, it'll be okay. I'll probably unlock mine in the bubble just because I don't want to go to Colonia just to fuss with that. I'm already annoyed enough. Double tap! Hey, no worries, man. I'm glad to see anybody bouncing in or out, or even off the walls. I'm good with everything. Yeah, I've been, like, trying to do some background research, and I've just... I feel like I just need to get back from Distant Worlds and sink my teeth into it, because listening to it while carrying mail is not the same as doing. Or as Gina Torres says, talking ain't doing. I've also been rewatching Firefly in preparation for the upcoming animated stuff, and I know I don't even think there's a release date for it yet. But just seeing that it's, you know, coming down the pike, I'm getting stoked. I'm like, oh yeah, let's get back and do this. Yeah, I'll probably do the on foot on Jim too, because the reality is when I'm not locked up out on an expedition, that's the account I play on. I mean, Astrid may sit for months without me logging in once we get back. It's just the reality of having a second account. And any excursions I make out of the bubble once we're back are probably going to be within 5,000 light years, and that's, let's be honest, that's a day trip in a Caspian. Yeah, I know. It'll be a minute. I don't care if it's a minute. Just the confirmation that it is coming, that there will, in fact, be more stories of Firefly. I'm so excited for that. Hell, I'm still mad that they killed off Wash. That was senseless. Absolutely senseless. And I feel fine saying that right now because I'm certain everybody in here has seen Serenity and understands what happens. I don't think that's a spoiler for anyone. But that was a death I did not at all agree with. I feel like they did it just to break my heart. Oh, son of a bitch. Ran into the big glowy thing. Yeah, I agree. Oh, you'll be happy to know that after I gave you all that shit on my way out of Rainbow's End, I couldn't see because the star field is so sparse. I couldn't see the dolphin stuck in the toast rack and slammed right into it and earned myself a fine. So I also have anonymous access now. Luckily, I can still get to the mission board. I did redock and check. I will be very disappointed if he doesn't make top 10. I don't know where I'm going to land. We'll see. Yeah, I definitely got close to the natural light here. Luckily, I have heat sinks aplenty. Also, I was thinking about it. Why the hell didn't any of us get Sirius heat sinks before we left? They're not hard to get, and they're 5 heat sinks per module. They're better than an ammo-engineered heatsink. What am I... No. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm screwing up. Why not burn 2 heatsinks for the price of 1? Who needs heatsinks? I think everybody who watches him has that personal goal tucked in the back of their brain somewhere. My goal for the immediate future is to find crystalline shards, because I have equipped a flak cannon and collectors. I want to see if you can, in fact, mine crystalline shard fields using the flak cannon method. You don't need heat sinks. No. You just need a lawyer. It's alright, I do too. Speaking of, hopefully I can replace this, because I am down to 1. 146 reloads. I think I'll be a-okay there. Oh, the bath water. I have to admit, I never thought I would have as much fun cracking jokes about the blue-haired bathwater as I have had, even if it's only a temporary thing. Because I have no desire to actually have Astrid pledged to anybody. I like her being neutral. I think the role play for the character is that she would be completely neutral. She doesn't like any of the powers. But I definitely want prismatic shields on that account just for the combat. And unfortunately, the fastest way to unlock them, buy them, and then drop all ties is through the bathwater. I still maintain that that is the best use Grok could be put to, though. If you're going to use an AI, it had better be to animate a blue-haired video game princess into a bathwater saleswoman. And I did specify for the bottles to be in the video. And by God, Grok put those pretty glass bottles up on the side of the bathtub. He understood the assignment. I still haven't sent that over to Lave. I need to. I probably won't send it to Lave. I'll probably send it direct to Claire with the clip of the ad, because that'll make it all the funnier. Oh, come on. You're going to make me move for one planet? Really? Hey, no worries. Safe flight, bud. I know we've got some thunderstorms rolling in, but I think they'll all be north of your flight path, so it should be a smooth evening. Oh, I had to move for 2 planets. That makes it less painful. That I'll take. Alright, we got a water world to go, map. I do still want to try to get Elite 4 or 5 before the end of this expedition and exploration. So even though the money doesn't matter for the CG, it very much matters to the pilot. And doesn't look like we had any interesting atmospheres there. Couple of terraformables, though. The water world's high value, and then I've got 2 thick nitrogen HMCs that are terraformable, so I'll go scan those also. What is it, sweet dog? What is it? Huh? Welcome, say hi. Oh. Oh, you're getting too big for this. Way too big for this. Yeah. What's up there? Nothing up there. Alright. Come on. That way. No, you just got your camera time. Go lay down. Oh, right there. Thank you. Absolutely spoiled rotten. Not helped by the fact that I spent 2 days sitting here around the house just cuddling and loving on her. Well, you saw she's ornery. She's moving around, trotting and running. What? We were just outside. Is that the case? Oh, that is the case. All right. Oh, I've got the headphones on. I will be right back, guys. Apparently, she needs to go out to the little pup's room. So, we'll be orbiting a planet, but we'll see you here in a minute. Welcome back. I do love that music. It doesn't look like we're going to get the same storm you will, but it does appear that it is going to start raining here real soon. So that was probably for the best that she decided to go out again. That said, I think it was a ploy, because we absolutely went out and piddled and then messed around in the yard and just did not want to come back inside. And we went out before stream specifically so we wouldn't have that interruption. Yeah, I'm looking at you. And that is dark. No natural light to be seen here. I find for whatever reason that the scanning pattern I use is not nearly as reliable up close. we're still pretty close. So I'm going to give it a little bit of grace on either side here, further than I normally do. See where we land. And welcome in, Rob. It's plenty warm enough for ours to get going. I will not at all be shocked if we get quite the thunderstorm this evening. It's still warm enough out there now that I really hope it cools off before I go to work tomorrow. I'll put it that way. I will be sweating good if it doesn't. It's going to be not quite in the middle, I don't think, but hopefully close enough to get the job done. Wow, not even. Well, I've still got a probe here. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the storm rolls in and tomorrow's like a nice, pleasant mid-60-ish. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. I'm just too close to this planet, that's the problem. Way too close. I mean, I guess the efficiency bonus isn't really the end of the world, but I still want it. It's a matter of pride. Down in the 30s, good grief. I don't think we're supposed to get quite that chilly. It was definitely high 70s today. I will be surprised if we dip lower than like 55. Not saying it's not possible, but I'll be surprised. Alright, and bodies 6 and 7 are terraformable, so we'll go hit those. Not really hyper braking, but still a expedited way to get where you're going. I haven't looked at all of the weather. Let's just see. Well, that's a damn lie. It says it's 59 right now. High today was 83. Well, tomorrow they're saying 42 and 28. I guess it is possible. That won't be the end of the world. See if this works. I think I turned that on, but I'm not positive. Ha! I did. That should be on slots, Campbell, something else. I turned on a bunch of those things. I also discovered that there is a way to auto shout out fellow streamers without having to actually use commands. Which does remind me, if there's anybody hanging about that isn't already a viewer, you should go check out Delta One. And of course Arcanic in his ridiculous search for the green gas giant. That was body 6, now I need 7. Of course those aren't going to work. Why would they work? Oh, I know why they didn't work. For some reason I'm signed in as me. That's alright, we can fix this. There we go. Don't argue with me about who's in charge. Of course. I did. Of course I did. Oh, I couldn't make his code anything else. Let's be real, it had to be GGG. Well, I see the add points command is still not working the way I think it's supposed to. Did they go through? Because it said it wasn't able to find you. Which is pretty much what it says every time anybody tries to give me points. I just don't exist. It did not go through. Hmm. There's a way to do that. There's a way to add points directly through Streamlabs, but I can't remember what it is. And yes, of course it's limpets. Why wouldn't it be? What other currency is there in this world? Oh, take me to the next system, Jeeves. Actually, I think Eden's my co-boss, but who's count? It's a hell of a sector name we're flying into there. No weirder than the last one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I was thinking you had to have two, but maybe that's only if you've changed it. Try it with one. You should be able to use that command also. Yeah, it did work with one. I would love for that mute button to work ever. There's just no time. You have to have Streamlabs as the active window or the hotkey doesn't work, which absolutely defeats the point of having it on a hotkey. Just saying. That's my hot take. I will say I've noticed, I don't know if you've had the same experience out here, but it seems like Marasomnia is lousy for biologicals. And I'm more or less in the galactic center. Or, well, not the galactic center, but like the center of the plane. And I'm just... Make a liar out of me, Elite. Why don't you do that? Right as I'm complaining about that very thing, 60-odd systems later, you finally give me something worth looking at. I just haven't found a bunch, and I've only found, I think... No, I haven't found any. I have not found a single stratum since I left, whatchamacallit. Well, there is a thin ammonia... That's a thin ammonia landable, but I think it's a thin ammonia-rich landable that's the rare one. I still feel compelled to go check it out. Those always have nice sunsets, and I do need to test the landing capability. That is one of the things I've pulled this ship out of the storage for. I gotcha. Let me know if it works any better. I've had absolutely terrible luck locating biologies. Just in general, I've found very few planets that have them, and most of them have been bacteria, funticula. I've had a couple of Frutexa, a couple of Tussock along the way, but I've had several where it's just, you know, system after system of nothing, and then one bacteria, and then back to nothing. I guess I haven't looked to see, am I filtering by a particular star type? I don't think I am. Of course I've been wrong before. I'll bet that's why it wouldn't let me plot down to, what's its nuts? How funny would that be? Let's see if I can plot direct to Rainbow's End now. Nope, still says I can't do it. I would love if we went through some shards, because I definitely want to test the flak cannon mining. But I'm not 100% convinced. Let's see if we can find a midpoint here. Okay, we can route as far as that. Can we go lower? Well, I guess I might have been kind of above the plane. It seems a lot denser than where I was. We should be able to do that. Yeah, we can do that. Can we go lower? It's like playing Limbo with the star chart. I don't think I can get that far down. That's pretty sparse down there. Nope. Yeah, having that station down at more than negative 500 is just silly. Really quite perturbed about that. That'll work. And then I guess I can pick my way down after that. And we'll see when we get there, I guess. Yeah, I'm on my way back now. I kind of went up and then jumped out about 50 jumps. Did most of that the other night, and then I started the return trip for the stream. I do want to get back before I finish up. I'm not sure how late I'm going to run this evening. Probably just until I get back, so at least I'd say another hour. So I've got, what, 38 jumps. Oh, I forgot to go to that planet. Oh, he's neutron jumping. I will probably have to break down and galaxy plot the rest of it there. It can certainly be done one star at a time in the galaxy map. I don't have the patience for that. I will 100% just galaxy plot it and be done with it. How close is he getting? I really want to know if he ends up top 10. I don't know how he doesn't, to be honest. I mean, the guy's... He should have been top 10 from his initial turn-in. He has done so much jumping, and I know he rarely, if ever, lands on a carrier and sells data. Made it to the mute button that time, damn it. Don't mess with me. Oh, yeah, because he's neutron jumping. I guess his jumps remaining is pretty meaningless. Yeah, I'm excited if there's some shards nearby in our future, though, because I really want to test that mining. I mean, it's pretty meaningless, all said and done. You can certainly trade up for polonium or something, or, you know, mine something else. It is quite an effort to load a carrier up and go to the nearest crystalline shards in the bubble just to get engineering mats. And it's also, unless you're flying something like a Caspian, not overly efficient to be hauling around a flak cannon and collector limpets with you. I mean, the limpets aren't bad. You can synth those out in the black, but you still have to carry the dead weight of the cannon and the collector controller. I sold 6 or 7 pages to start with. With over 70 pages, I would be in absolute and utter disbelief if he was not number 1. But I also don't know if Kit Oslin is out on DW3. I have to imagine he is. And if there's anybody that's going to give Arcanic a run for his money, it's Kit. He was on earlier this evening. I didn't think to look and see where he was in the world. Is he still on? He is not. Logan's on. Logan's another one. Not quite as prodigious as Kit. That dude's got way too much time on his hands. Kit, he is probably the single most prolific explorer in the game. He was out, I got acquainted with him on Apollo 14, which was just absolutely legends stacked with explorers. I don't know how they managed that. It was a bunch of very veteran players and explorers out running this little ragtag group of 60 folks on what amounted to, you know, a ride down to the ice cream shop in comparison to what we're doing here. I don't recall right off the top of my head what Kit's stats are. And let me jump over here on an R real quick. He has done 3.7 million hyperspace jumps. No. No, this can't be right. Because I know he's ahead of Arcanic, and this is saying he's done less than 200,000 jumps. Unless he reset his account. No, because he has no role or ship name or nothing. I don't think this has been updated in a hot minute. You could ask Arcanic. He would be able to tell you what his jump stats and stuff are. He knows Kit. I don't know if he knows Kit, but he knows of Kit. Dude's wild. I remember looking up his stats when I was on Apollo 14 and realizing that even if I play until my end of days, I will not achieve what that man has done in this game. Absolute madness. I was just searching him out on Inara, but I don't think those stats are correct because it doesn't look correct. Like it's missing a lot of information. You can search a commander name on Inara in the search bar on the top right. I'm not even sure mine updated now that I think about it. I assume that would automatically populate. Yeah, it changed. And mine, yeah, see, mine's still behind. And ours is kind of slow to update, too, for whatever reason. It always seems to be about 48 hours behind everything else in the world. When I get down on the ground, I'll drag it over and show you. Oh, wait a minute. Was that only a one bio? It was a one bio. They tricked me. Okay, what's on the other one? The other one's bacteria, too. I've been had. Well, since we're not going down on the ground, I guess. Let's do this, and then this, and this. Did that go? Yep, it went. So I just plug the name into the search bar, and then you can go seeing a bunch of information up here at the top. So I don't know how accurate it is. And then you do ranks and reputation. And you should be able to come down and see like the stats for their badges. Why are we not loading? Show me ranks. There we go. So it does show that he's Elite 5. No, there's info with them, but like up here at the top, it's missing a lot of the registered stuff, and it doesn't show his current stuff. And he could have that set private. Yeah, but this is only saying he's got less than 200,000 hyperspace jumps, and I know that's not right. I've seen that number higher, so I'm not sure what's going on. But that's how you go check stuff like that. And I just realized I was having a Wi-Fi issue, and I never plugged in my never plugged back in my Ethernet cable, so that may be part of the problem. Just do that real quick. It says a lot for the state of technology when you can go several days and not realize you've been running wireless. Not mad about that at all. But no stratum there, sadly. I'm not going down there for the bacteria. Not sure what my current stats are. I'm curious now how accurate is my own stats. It says I've done 480,000 light years and change on Inara. It's about 4,000 light years behind on me, so it's more or less accurate for me. I'll take it. Someday I really need to try CQC. I've never tried it at all. And I kind of want to, just so that the red mostly helpless goes away. I look over there. Oh, it doesn't do it on there. So is it just blank, no progress there, which I guess I'm okay with. Ices and maybe a high metal? Could be a metal rich. Let's go see what these icy bodies have to not offer me. Oh, I guess they offered me something. All premium boost materials. Now watch, the high metal's going to be down here around the secondary. Some ridiculous distance away. As long as I don't need to actually go to them, that's fine. I will say this is exactly the kind of exploration the Caspian was designed for. And it excels at. If you don't need to land a lot, it's great. It just runs all day long and doesn't break down. Unless you run into an exclusion zone, and then it breaks a little bit, you know. I was genuinely surprised the other day because I realized that Astrid is at the same combat level as Murdoch, and I have done way more combat on Murdoch. But I jumped right in with Astrid at the skill level myself, my own skill level, in a far superior ship, and was eating up a bunch of elite pilots left and right. She's competent also, and just a little bit under halfway, so fast closing. The mercenary is the on-foot stuff. That's actually kind of fun. CQC I've just never done. If I want to go fight, I'll go fight in Elite. Why would I go to a third game mode that has no bearing on my character and fight there? In ships that don't even handle right. That's the other thing I've heard about it is Like, you can fly a Sidewinder or an Eagle or any of the ship-launched fighters in CQC, but they all handle significantly differently than they do if you fly them, like, in-universe, so why would I use that game mode? All it's going to do is make me a worse combat pilot. It's not even good for practice, because they change parameters. It really is perfect for exactly this kind of exploration. And honestly, I think I bitch too much about how it lands. I think it just comes down to I'm not a large ship person. I would have been perfectly happy if the Caspian were a medium and had 2 fewer size 6 slots. I don't need them. To be perfectly honest, I can fit everything I want on a Krait Phantom. And I re-engineered one in Coriolis the other day. I got a Krait Phantom up to a max jump of 85 light years, with all the stuff I wanted in it. So if they would just give me a way to have that ship with SCO compatibility, I wouldn't need anything else. And I'm quite attached to it. I think I am going to go ahead and re-engineer it and just keep using it. Because for a lot of my own exploration needs, I don't mind. I don't mind not having the SCO. But I also think I'm going to work up my Cobra quite a bit, too. With the pre-engineered FSD set up to do exobio, I think I was able to get my Cobra up to like 67 laden, and like just a touch over 70 for, wait a minute, did I scan that system? No, I didn't. Just a touch over 70 for max jump, which for most cases that's perfectly acceptable. I mean, that's my Caspian's running 72 on average right now, and that is just dandy. Well, there's a chance for stratum, so we're gonna scan it and see. I'm not gonna hold out a lot of hope, but if it does so happen to be there, I will happily land and get it. I never turn down free money. It's like free food. Come on, where are you hiding? It's going to be one random gas giant hanging out in left field with one high metal content moon. There it is, off the orbit line. I stand corrected. I guess I still have to go hunt down the gas giant. That could also have a stratum. Where's this gas giant at? There it is. Oh, that's a wild one. I think I start there. I want a screenshot of that. I don't know that I've ever found a gas giant quite that purple. It's quite a looker. Yeah, of course it's 13,000 light seconds out. Why wouldn't it be? less of a problem in this ship, for sure. Unless you do that. You know? Nice wide noob loop for the view. And I'll watch. It's going to be so far out, it's not going to be lit worth a damn. That upsets me, because that was a really pretty one. We do seem to have an affinity for the gas giants. They by far are the more interesting textures to go look at. Yeah, I think we're just too far away. That is a pity that that's as good as that gets. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to screenshot it anyways and see if I can bring that up in photo editing later. Alright, where were these stratums? Maybe on A2 and maybe on BC3. Which one's closer? A2. Let's go have a gander. Hopefully I don't noob loop it this time. Oh, I tried awful hard. Now, why are we dropping frames now all of a sudden? I plugged in. Things should be going smoother, not the other way. Hopefully that's not looking too rough over there. And to goose the throttle, I may have overdone it just a skosh. If I check both of these and neither of them have a stratum on it and I just wasted all this time, I'm going to be mildly perturbed. Yeah, I figured you'd enjoy it, all said and done. The beginning was definitely a faster pace than I care for. I'm planning on putting together a little Delta expedition, but I'm going to kind of cap it 5,000 light years around the bubble so that people can come and go with like an hour of travel time if they want to. There does appear to be a stratum. whether it is a tectonic... Actually, you know what? I'm going to check observatory before I go down there. Where are we at? We're at A2. Yep, the only stratum potential is Tectonicus, so... I'm going to go grab that. I will say, I save an awful lot of time getting down to a planet in this. It's just an awful shame it's so hard to actually touch said planet once you get there. This doesn't look too bad. I am definitely going to be doing some Raxel hunting after this is over. I want to go check out that one cluster. I'm very curious to know why those stars are down there that way, laid out that way. But yeah, that's kind of the goal. I just want to give people an opportunity to get away from the bubble, have some carrier support, you know, and I'll probably do like a carrier move every 2 weeks or something. It's not going to be nearly the pace of Distant Worlds. But you know, it'll leave the opportunity if people want to go out and spend a week or two on the expedition, and then you know something happens and they want to run back to the bubble. It's not an impossible task. Not that it's impossible from DW3. I mean, I checked from Beagle. In theory, you can do bubble to Beagle now in about 4 hours. So it's the Caspian has definitely changed the time investment needed to go out and about, which I'm honestly not a big fan of. I appreciate being able to travel that fast, but at the same time, like, that used to be a significant milestone, and now I don't feel like it is. I feel like if you want to say you've been that far out, you have to go in a real ship. And I haven't, so I will probably make one more trip out to Salome's Reach. And I think I'll do it unassisted. No carrier. And it won't be in a Caspian. What cluster was that? That was... Where did I put that? I may have to go find it again. I thought for sure I'd bookmarked it. Ah. This little cluster here that seems to be a little string of stars all by itself. They're all together, but there ain't nothing around them. I definitely want to see what that's all about. If you can even get there. For all I know, it's permit locked or something silly. But it's not that far from the bubble. It's within 5,000 light years of the bubble, so I figure it's worth a day trip. Hell, I'd be willing to jump in there with a Caspian, even if it was a one-way trip. If I had to self-destruct to get out, I'd be okay with that. But I do think I'm going to run Salome's Reach one more time. Just in a standard ship. Probably a Gen 1 ship. Probably a Phantom. Or, maybe a DBX. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a long solo trip. So maybe the Phantom over the DBX. It's certainly more suited to unassisted deep space exploration. It's got more internals. So you've got room for all the goodies you need. It sounds so good with the headphones on. I tried it earlier through my desktop speakers, and I was very unsatisfied. But the new pistol sounds through the headphones are just stupendous. There is the scoop limitation on the Diamondback. That is true. I just love that little ship, though. I'll probably take the Phantom. That's all said and done. I just have a irrational dislike of the Mandalay, so it won't be the Mandy. It has crossed my mind, goofy as it is, to take an unengineered raw run ship out there. Just to say I did it. Because, you know, that was the way the first guys had to do it. There was no engineering, there was no FSD booster, none of that stuff. And if I do that, I really have to take an ASP Explorer, because the Phantom I don't think was even released yet. I don't think it came out with the game. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to go read the history books, I guess. Maybe the ASP was more popular because it was much cheaper. That is one thing I'll say for the Crate Phantom. It costs quite a bit for what it is. Come on, I just need one more piece of stratum. I don't really notice the scoop problem in the Diamondback, though, if I'm perfectly honest, because I don't do a ton of just hard jumping if I'm out on my own. I'll happily sit there scooping in FSS while I'm doing it and fill up without noticing. I suppose an alternative to taking one of the new exploration ships is if I took something like Kestrel. Because it's decidedly not an optimized explorer. And the best you can do with it is about 55, 60 light years, so. Okay, yeah, I thought it was not necessarily a right out of the gate thing. I guess I have to make that trip in an ASP then. Of course, if I do that and I do a raw ship, I won't be able to make Salome's Reach. It'll have to be just Beagle Point. I won't be able to make it all the way out to Salome's. And this guy's panting. Drives me absolutely nuts. Haha, right in the middle of PlayStation. I've thought more than once about going back and playing Horizons just to see the Canyon generation, because I never played in that era. So I hear all these tales that guys have about running these really cool Canyon races. And I can't even imagine what that looks like, because you don't get any canyons now. Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. 90 pages. That's a lot of shit to sell. I think the most I've ever done is like 2025, and I felt like I was there forever. Especially if it's like taking a long time to load each page. You just want to like throw something on Netflix and go. 94 pages. Was he by chance tracking how much money he made on all that? I know he generally just FSS's and runs. So not super great money. I'm going to engineer this suit just so I can stop hearing him pant so much. That's aggravating. What was the other planet? BC3? Yeah. Let's go check out BC3. See if we can get another stratum.
Frameshift drive charging.
I suppose it'll be easy enough to check. I'll just go in later and see what his balance is on stream before he sells. I'd be curious to know how much he stacked up on that, though. Yeah, I've got it up watching it now. I finally got chat working in OBS, so I can kind of cheat and dedicate a screen to something else now. So I'm gonna sit here and watch him muted and see. He's gonna be there for like 30 minutes just selling data, though. 448 million when I'm looking at it now, and he's 20 on that. Yeah, he could make a fair bit of cash on that one. I wonder how long he's been holding on to that data. And these damn gremlins in my joystick turning on my headlights. They about boosted me into a planet the other day.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
We got another stratum. Let's see if there's any other possibilities. For BC3, the only possible stratum is Tectonicus. I have decided, after I cash in for the CG, I'm going to hold all of my data from here to the end of the trip. to rank up my power play ranking with Lee. It'll also give me a bonus. I don't know what the maximum bonus is. I haven't looked. Sure, yep. I'm on the light side.
Orbital flight
You
engaged.
know me, I like to see things in natural light. Apparently, I also like to see them at high speed. Well, while I'm waiting on that cooldown, because it's 40-second cooldown. Yeah, so at top rank, it's double exploration data. That'll be nice. I don't know how. I don't think I'll stack up enough merits to get to a level 100 just on exploration data. That would be cool as hell, though.
Frameshift drive charging.
I would certainly be okay with that concept. Of course, you're gonna make me do it this way. That is just one of the most annoying mechanics of this game right there. I'm just gonna boost down. I'm not dicking around all night with that. I'd have to go all the way up far enough that I was out of the drop zone and in orbital cruise, and then, yeah. I think the penalty of having to wait on your FSD should be more than sufficient for screwing that up. And this dude is over here doing the Lord's work. I missed it. He pulled up what his placing was, and I missed it.
Landing gear deployed.
I will say the landing has not been overly problematic today, but I've also feel like I've been landing on mostly flat places to start with. So I don't know that that's really a metric that I can use.
No gravity warning.
Now, why do we consistently change my controls for this? This drives me nuts. I'm so tired of remapping this. I feel like I've been through this a half a dozen times. Apparently that remapped too. "73 pages, good lord." Yeah, he's gonna be there at least a half an hour.
Handbrake is on.
The real question I have is not whether or not he makes it to the top spot anymore, because I'm certain he'll manage that. But I want to know how many tiers he moves the goal on his own. We were just a skosh over tier 3 last time I looked. Yeah, so that's what it currently reflects for me, just a touch over tier 3. I wonder how far he'll be able to make it on his own, and how far he's going to bump me down the list, selling all his data. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I don't know how much ExoBio he's collected, but he'll be making bank. Not that he needs it. 42 billion credits is pretty respectable in anybody's book. I assume he owns a fleet carrier. If not, he should. When you have enough to buy and fund both a fleet carrier and a squad carrier and not even notice the money gone. Of course, he's been playing long enough to earn that too. He's been at it like a solid 10 years. I said I was going to go do the races this waypoint, and I didn't. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what his final stats are. Wild, for sure. Hell, I might as well grab that tussock. I think there's 3 of them walking distance here that are far enough apart. Because I flew over some back here. So let's get the farthest back piece I can. Eventually, the day is going to come where I'm going to want to go region by region codex hunting until I've filled them all out. Even though I'm certain people that do that are absolutely insane. I know I'll get to that point eventually. So I might as well hook on to what I can while I'm here. Okay, that's all too close. No, that's different. Wait a minute. I'm sampling tussock. The bacterium I get, that should be different. What is this? Oh, okay, it was just a graphic glitch. I think this is going to have to be my last biology, or I'm going to be forever getting back. Oh, there's no maybe about it. I will eventually turn into one of those people. I have no doubt in my mind. And the sad part is, my odds of completing 100% Codex completion is better than the odds of finding a green gas giant.
Handbrake is on.
Hell, he's made 400 million just selling data so far. Man's over here working on legendary status. Don't watch TV and drive, kids. Well, I started that Tussock, now I gotta find the third one, which was supposed to be quick and easy. There's some. I thought there was some. I don't remember what the most I've ever turned in. I'm sure it was on Apollo 14. And I'm certain it was no more than like mid-20s. That isn't a shitload of data. Of course, by the time we get back to the bubble, I might be selling, 80-some pages. We'll see. See what I can come up with.
Handbrake is on.
It is an obscene amount of data. I do like the coloring inside Rainbow Zen. I like the color scheme and the landing pads. I think it's a very futuristic looking, well, as far as colors can affect the look of a space station being futuristic, I see he is in top 10. Jiminy Christmas. This guy.
Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging.
Absolute mad lad.
4, 3, 1.
I'm really curious how long he was holding on to that. That is so much data. That's a cool looking Caspian. I wonder what paint job that is. I don't think that's the copper one I was running. I'm running the black one now. That might have been one of the ones I wasn't willing to pay for. Alright. Time to lock in. Or I'm never gonna get there. And he's way faster in the FSS than I am. I'm not gonna lie, those hollow kits are tempting as hell. The ones they've been advertising in the launcher for the Kestrel. I kinda want one. Oh, kinda want one. I'm trying to resist though, because I don't need them. I've got enough cool looking ships. And I kind of burnt myself because I paid for the ship kits on the Caspian. So I could have the spoiler and, you know, the things up front here. And now it turns out it's not even a ship I like flying all that much, so. And I'm hesitant to buy any cosmetic at this point. Because I bought so many for Gen 1 ships, and now I have no reason to fly those ships, and I'm mildly pissed about that. I'm seriously considering not buying anything else for arcs I didn't earn through gameplay. Because that's bullshit. It's fine if it's going to eventually go away when the game goes away, but to negate my purchases by releasing new content that makes them so obsolete they're not even worth flying, that's kind of dog shit. I have no time for that. But we'll see. I'll be back on the overtime list here very shortly, which means I'll have money burning a hole in my pocket. And I'm sure FDev will get more of it than I would like. I have decided I'm not buying any more ships unless it's a Diamondback 2. Unless they give us an Exploration SRV. Which undoubtedly will only fit in some fancy new ship, you know. Because that's the way that's going to play out. It'll be a Mark II SRV bay. In which case I may not mess with it. I may just keep doing things the old way.
Frameshift drive charging.
No. Lay down. You've been fed, you've been watered, you've been loved, you've been on camera, and you've been outside twice. I love you dearly, but you're being a pest. No. Stop it. You're rotten. Absolutely spoiled rotten. Well, that was an easy scan. One whole body. Roast Murdoch. Thought something smelled funny in here. Another easy system. It's great for travel time. It's not necessarily great for CG contributions.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, there we go. I knew I'd run into one that slowed me down eventually.
Disengaged.
Watch me find a green gas giant while I'm racing back. I would die laughing.
System scan complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Well, just since I've been watching, he's made like 3/4 billion. So I say he lands at $1.5 billion just on scan data.
System scan complete. Fuel scooping. Frameshift
I suppose I could unmute it. Yeah, I've got my desktop muted there. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how the EXO comes out myself.
disengaged.
Ooh, this one's gonna keep me busy. it physically hurts, but I'm gonna have to pass on that stratum, or I'll never get back there. Actually, no, you know what? If I don't make it tonight, I don't make it tonight. No. No, I said I was gonna make it and turn in. Ah, yeah, yeah. There's no reason not to sell that on a carrier, though, because it doesn't take any hit. That makes sense. I would sell mine. I'm just going to wait and hold on to it, because it does, as I recall, count towards merits for Lee. Okay, this system's teasing me now. There's another 300 million on the table. That's cruel and unusual punishment. Oh, it hurts.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
This thing just scoops like a dream. I honestly don't remember the last time I had to idle at a star in a Caspian. I could probably drop this to a B-rated scoop. That would drop my rebuy a good bit. I don't remember what that thing's worth, but it's a lot.
System scan complete.
Ooh, that was a good question he just asked. Honestly, I don't know what my favorite region would be. I do like Sanguinius Realm. I like the idea of Formidine Rift, but I know a lot of that's already been discovered. I've spent a lot of time in Norma. I've spent quite a bit of time in all the inner ones there. I liked Acheron, actually. I enjoyed that. And I like Fomorian Frontier. I genuinely enjoy Sanguinius. It's not too far from the bubble. So you get, like, you're out far enough that you can explore and see stuff, but you're also close enough you can get back to the bubble. It's a nice choice. Oh, what was that body? That was body 2. Let's get set here. I was aligned with target destination, damn it. Fly where I tell you to fly so I can type. There we go. I guess I was still roughly headed in the right direction. He's got such a hard-on for that sector.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Sludge sector.
Surface scan complete. Frameshift drive charging.
I will say my best discoveries are not in Sanguinius Rim. They are in oh, what is it called? It's the other one. Where that helium box I was running is. That was honestly the most excited I've been.
Fuel scooping. System scan
Because I was finding helium gas giants I'd never found. I was finding water giants. It was a great region. Now I have to look because it's going to bother me. Fomorian Frontier. That's where I've had the most fun.
Frameshift drive charging.
Woo! 39 bodies. That's gonna keep me busy. Yeah, I think Rendezvous in Fomorian Frontier. I think I still have it bookmarked. Such a weird word to spell. Damn French. Rendezvous is in the Vales. So right next to Fomorian Frontier. Oh, no, not. Because, wait a minute. I thought this was the Vales. Oh. No, it's an Arcadian stream. Vales is here. That's Fomorian Frontier. Then Marisomnia, Acheron, the Abyss. Are those labels I've just got turned off? Oh, you can turn constellations on and off. That's cool. I have region names turned on. Why can't I? Why aren't they? Hell with it. I've been keeping a bunch of them. I've got a spreadsheet going so that I can keep track of them all once the, in case they ever close along or close out the. Is that a water world? Son of a bitch. Elite is conspiring to slow me down. Now I've got keeping them all in a list in a spreadsheet so that if I want to come back and visit them, I can. I'm gonna have to mute him. I can't talk with him talking. It interrupts my train of thought because I start trying to listen to him talk. It's not gonna work. Oh, that was cool looking. It's a nice white ring too. Yeah, I know they're probably going to leave that Discord channel in there in an archive, but just in case they don't, I've been yanking out all the system addresses and the names and keeping a list. Because they may close it up. I haven't looked through the Discord to see if they've got the DW2 stuff in there. But it is the FleetCom Discord. It's not the DW Discord, so there is always the chance that they archive or close things out just to clean up the Discord once it's all over. And honestly, most of our waypoints have been off of an old POI list that was used for another expedition. It's just been so long ago. So I guess I could also hunt down that list on Reddit or something. So many bodies, so little time. That's a good point. I don't know how long they'll maintain that website, though. I imagine they're paying to host that somewhere. I don't think it's a case of somebody hosting it on a machine in their basement. Certainly possible, but I would imagine at some point they're going to close that down too to not have to pay the upkeep on it. Of course, I don't know how they did that either. A lot of times people will take donations and they'll just fund that website for however many years the donations cover the rental. Point is, I didn't want the source of that information to become inaccessible to me. I said, I'll just keep a list. It's not that much work to copy and paste a few things into a spreadsheet every week. It takes me about 8 minutes, I think. And it's handy to have it all right there ready to copy and paste at a whim, you know. That was an odd noise. Don't know that I've ever heard that while scanning. There's 2 stratums. I have straight up passed almost a billion credits in stratum just skipping over bios this night.
System scan complete.
Do I stop and go get them? It seems like such a shame to leave them. Time is at 10:41. I think I stop and go get them, but I also think that after I do, I need to boogie to Rainbow's End. So I'm gonna take ED Buddy and generate a galaxy route. Oh, wait a minute. Why are you not? You've done something wrong. Going here. Where am I? I'm in BM Dash. That makes no sense. Okay, I guess I'm going to restart Exploration Buddy because it's being weird. Lay down. Why are you so restless tonight? What's going on with you? Huh? What's your issue, dog? Being rotten. Tell me about it, huh? No, you can't get up my lap. Copy that. Where did Buddy go? Just does not recognize the system I'm in. It is incredibly annoying. Oh. Alright, where were those bios? Oh, that's no good. Apparently Elite wants to crash on me. Okay, what's going on here? Because my internet's working fine. Guess we're gonna... Alright. See if this works now. Wonder if that's why Buddy wasn't correctly importing where I was either. Roku, VNC D4. Still doesn't show up. SAD0. Does that show up? I guess I'm just boned. So I'm going to go ahead and say we're not going to make it tonight. We might. I'm going to leave those Tectonicus. I've got money. See if I can make this happen. Oh, he's down to 7. Wow. Yeah, those loading screens are getting rough on him over there.
System scan complete.
How far away is that? Okay, I'm not passing on it. It makes no sense. I'm not in a rush. I set an arbitrary goal, and I don't like that goal, so I'm gonna go make my money. I've straight up passed like 1,000,000,000 credits in Stratum this evening, and that just seems silly. Yeah, I was gonna rush back and try and see if I made top 10, but I don't. Honestly, I don't really care, and I've passed up so much money tonight. I might actually go backwards a system and get the 3 in the last one, because it's 500,000,000 between this system and that one. So I guess we might be streaming Elite tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I was thinking about a Vintage Story, but it may be the other half of this saga. What am I doing? I've got Super Cruise Overcharge. Yeah, I gotta watch these last 2 pages here, see what the outcome is. I mean, I've got till, what, Friday to finish up, and I'm off Friday, so absolute worst case scenario. Thursday night after work, I can burn hard and get everything done. But I think I can get down there between tonight and tomorrow. I'm probably gonna call it here right about 11 too. $38,000. Holy shit, brother. Good Lord. That is absolute insanity. In all the best ways. Well, he's going to sell whatever exos he's got. I'm curious. $160,000 is bonkers. That is somebody that has literally been holding on to data from day one. Yeah, I know the EXO payout isn't going to be huge for him. Still interested to see what he's racked up, though. This guy's a machine.
Surface scan complete.
See if I can hit this planet without the woes of my last planetary entry. $500 million, that's not bad.
Orbital flight engaged.
That is insane. That is a lot of data sold. I'm hoping I make that kind of return when I sell to Li Yanru. Let's see. I feel like this planet might actually challenge the landing here.
Landing gear deployed.
Well, I do feel like that was an easier landing. But I am gonna call it there, I think. Good effort. I'm, I'm gonna try and finish it up tomorrow and see if I can get the rest of the way back to Rainbow's End and see where we land. But it was a good night. Thanks everybody for hanging out. If you want to hang out in Discord, you'll want to hang out in the Delta Discord because that's where I hang out. I'm not going to be setting up another one. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, whatever floats your boat. And we'll catch you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight. Till then, see you later.